My mother-in-law wakes me up at 3 every day and makes me do housework. As a result of this lifestyle, I collapse from overwork. Anyone would fall ill if they couldn't sleep. The next day, when I returned home after leaving the hospital, I found my mother-in-law standing in the doorway. Hospitalization is such an exaggeration. Young people these days. I wonder if it's because you grew up with a single parent that you're such a scumbag. I'd like to see your parents' faces. Whoops, I forgot. They are gone already. My mother-in-law looked at me and laughed sardonically. She continues while I'm at a loss of words. If you're a wife, you should get up at 3 a.m. and work like you always have. I won't allow you to fall ill. If you don't like it, there's no place for you here. Get the hell out of here. At this point, I had reached the end of my patience. She woke me up every morning at 3 a.m. to make me work, and to top it all off, she made fun of my late mother. I will never forgive you. I can't be a part of this family any longer. Holding back my voice from trembling, I tried my best to speak calmly. I understand. Then I will leave. My name is Lily. I'm 31 years old. My husband Noor and I have been married for 3 years. We bought a 4-bedroom apartment when we got married and lived together there. I'm still working at the famous company I entered after graduating college, and Noor is also working for another company. To be honest, Noor's income is only 1/3 of mine, but I was fine with that. I met him about 5 years ago. I grew up in a single-parent home. My mother, who raised me single-handed, passed away of illness 6 years ago. I had no siblings, so when I was feeling lonely, one of my coworkers introduced me to Noah. He had a rather timid personality, but he was very kind to me. We had a pretty steady relationship, and I was truly happy when he proposed to me 3 years ago. Maybe it was the joy of finally having a family of my own. When I went to Noah's parents' house to greet his family for the first time, my parents-in-law welcomed me kindly. I had the first impression of a dignified father-in-law and a modest and gentle mother-in-law. They smiled at me and told me that they were very happy to see me. My mother-in-law welcomed me saying, "Lily, from now on, I want you to think of me as your real mother." "Yes, thank you. These people will be my family. I'm glad that they are kind people. I must take good care of them." I felt completely at ease and decided to marry Noah. For Christmas, right after we got married, Noah took me home with him. I was chatting with my father-in-law at the table when my mother-in-law spoke to me. "Lily, may I have a word?" "Yes, what is it?" I was led into the next room, where my mother-in-law started staring at me. "Why are you wearing your skirt today?" "What?" It was true that I was wearing a below-the-knee skirt that day. It wasn't flashy or anything, just my usual attire. I wondered what was wrong. I asked my mother-in-law, and she scornfully snorted. "It's Christmas, you know. As a wife, you will have to move around a lot, won't you? You can't move around in a skirt. And it's not appropriate for a wife to start chatting happily at the table as soon as she arrives." "But Nora's father told me to." "No more excuses. Change your clothes and come to the kitchen." "Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry." That's why young people these days, you have to discipline them strictly. I left my mother-in-law, who was still mumbling, to change my clothes. I was in a cold sweat, and my heart was beating fast all the while. After that, I was made to cook in the kitchen, while my mother-in-law scolded me endlessly. "You're not a good wife if you don't bring your own apron. You're not very good at cooking either. This seasoning is disgusting." My mother-in-law happily said such words to me in the absence of my father-in-law and my husband. She was so kind to me before Noah and I got married, but she changed immediately after marriage. This is a fraud. By the time I returned home after staying one night, I was exhausted. Lily, please come visit us again. I was even terrified when my mother-in-law said this with a soft smile. Since then, whenever I visited my in-laws, I was always nagged by my mother-in-law, but I could not say anything about it to Noah. Of course, one reason was because I didn't want Noah to hate me. But more than that, if I divorced Noah right now, it would cause grief to my parents in heaven, who were so happy to see me get married. I wanted to avoid that at all costs. Fortunately, my in-laws are a few hours away by car, so the only time I see them is when Noah goes back home. I have no complaints about my life with Noah. If only we could continue to live together in peace. But that hope was soon shattered. One weekend, Noah and I were at home when suddenly the intercom rang. What? Noah's mother? I looked at the intercom screen and I froze. Noah rushed into the door.
Mom, what's going on? Why are you here all of a sudden without calling?
Noah asked. Then she came into the house and started crying. I divorced your father.
What?
Noah was obviously surprised, and his mother tearfully told us the story. Noah's father asked for the divorce out of the blue and kicked her out of the house after offering only a minimal share of the property. I'm all alone and I have nowhere to go, Noah sympathetically tells his mother as she sniffs her nose.
Oh no, you have me. You can stay here as long as you want.
What? My reaction unexpectedly spilled out my mouth, but Noah looked at me and said,
It's all right, Lily? I can't leave my mom alone.
Yes, I understand. Thank you, Noah. His mother gave him an overemphasized appreciation. This is how my mother-in-law and we began to live together. In the beginning, when we just started living together, she was very quiet. But after a week, she gradually revealed her true nature. I was cooking breakfast one day, and my mother-in-law scolded me in an exaggerated manner. What are you doing? What? I'm just cooking an egg. You have to cook them well for Noah. That's no good. They're too soft. Right, Noah? I looked over at Noah sitting at the dining room table. He looks happy.
Yes, your eggs are a little too soft. I never told you that before.
See, I told you. Now start again. I will watch over for you this time. Oh, okay. I had to make breakfast again, and was bothered though I did not show it. After that, my mother-in-law started to nag me about my housework. Since I was also working, I always did my chores quickly. But my mother-in-law, of course, was not satisfied with that. Lily, how come you don't wipe the floor every day? Well, we do have a cleaning robot, so... You can't rely on something like that. You should clean your own floors. Okay. I had to wipe the floors of all the rooms in the middle of the night before going to bed. All the while, my mother-in-law was just standing there, watching me with her arms crossed. It was past 1 a.m. when I finished cleaning. Starting tomorrow, you will wipe the floor in all the rooms every day, right? Yes, I will. And so, my list of household chores grew and grew. My mother-in-law was home every day. But if you ask me if she does something for me, not at all. She doesn't even hang a single piece of laundry. And that's not all. Since I started living with my mother-in-law, Noah, who used to help me with the housework, stopped doing anything. Whenever Noah tries to help with the housework, his mother would stop him. Noah, you're tired from working every day, aren't you? You don't have to do that.
But
It's the wife's job to take care of the house. So Noah, you take it easy.
yeah, I guess that's right. Lily can do it for me.
Of course she can. Lily is not a perfect wife, so I'll make sure she knows what she's doing.
Oh, thanks, Mom.
I was stunned to hear that conversation. I'm also working every day. I didn't know Noah was such a person. Yes, Noah was a mama's boy and was easily persuaded by her. Even so, I once appealed to Noah. Noah, I have a hard time when your mother interferes with my housework.
What? Did Mom say something wrong?
She's forcing me to do things her way, and I can't do all those chores by myself.
Lily, are you talking bad about my mother?
It's not like that, but
Just do as Mom says, and everything will be fine. You mean you can't do it all because you are slow, right?
what?
Take a cue from my mom. I want you to be able to do the housework well and become a good wife.
Noah, who was so cooperative in the housework and so kind to me. I wondered where he had gone. I could only stare at Noah's back as he went to bed in disbelief. After that, I continued to cook 3 meals a day for the 3 of us. I was busy with cleaning up, sweeping up, and doing laundry too. The dishwasher and cleaning robot were banned, so I was forced to do everything with my hands. Then, there was wiping the floor, ironing, and shoe shining for Noah added to the list. It was almost 2 a.m. when I went to bed every night. This was affecting my work as well. It became hard to get up in the morning. I had trouble concentrating and had headaches. It was hard to get work done, and I make more mistakes. My boss suggested that I was slacking off, and I was depressed by his words. I felt that if I continued like this, I would not be able to sustain myself physically and mentally. So I decided to talk to my mother-in-law directly. I would do the housework properly on weekends. So can't you let me go to bed early during the week? If I don't, I won't be able to continue working. Well, okay. Why don't you go to bed early tonight? Is that okay? But you will have to do at least some of the housework, doing the dishes and ironing. I will cut you a break for tonight there. Thank you. I finished my chores in a great hurry. I was able to go to bed at 11 that night. For the first time in a long time, I could sleep peacefully until morning. I was so relieved that I fell asleep right away. But a few hours later, Lily! My mother-in-law shouted and shaking my body to wake me up. I jumped out of the bed, flustered. What is it? Why are you in our bedroom? Why? Because it's time to get up. What? I looked at my clock in a panic and saw that it was 3 a.m. It was still dark outside. I protested in a whisper, trying not to wake Noah, who was snoring next to me. It's only 3 a.m. I usually wake up at 6:30 a.m. What are you talking about? You went to bed yesterday without wiping the floor. Do it now. What? If you go to bed early, you get up early and do the housework. That's wife's job. My mother-in-law tugged on my arm and made me come to the hallway. There was already a bucket and a rug ready in the hallway. Please, are you serious? Of course I am. Come on. You'll be late if you don't do it quickly. When you're done wiping the floor, the next thing to do is Noah's shoe and the toilet. Okay. I'm going to sleep again, so make sure you get it done. And don't cut corners when making breakfast. Make sure it's ready as always. Yes, ma'am. I crawled on my knees and wiped the floor. My head was foggy and my body felt very heavy. Still, I had no choice but to mindlessly do the housework like a robot. I finished the floor, and from there I went on to do Noah's shoes and the toilet. Then I made breakfast. Noah and his mother woke up at 7 o'clock. They began to eat breakfast gracefully.
Oh, breakfast today comes with dessert. I felt something was missing every morning.
As Noah ate his breakfast happily, his mother said to him, Lily couldn't wake up by herself, so I had to wake her.
Really? Come on, Lily. You should have woken up by yourself.
It was like our conversation from somewhere far away. From the next day, my mother-in-law started waking me up at 3 a.m. Each time, she told me to do the chores in detail, and if I didn't keep everything up, she would complain to me. I slept less than 4 hours a night, and I had chronic headaches and nausea. After 3 weeks of living like this, I reached my limit. One day, I collapsed at work and was rushed to the emergency room. I had been asleep in the hospital bed for more than 6 hours. When I woke up, Noah was at my side.
Hey, what are you doing overworked?
I couldn't believe my ears at the sound of Noah's grumpy voice. What?
You know, because you weren't there, Mom had to take care of the housework. Don't you feel sorry for her?
Noah, what are you talking about?
Just come home. Don't burden Mom any more than you already have.
After saying that, Noah walked out of the hospital room. I could do nothing but stare at his back in dismay. The next day, when I returned home after leaving the hospital, I found my mother-in-law standing in the doorway. Lily, how can you leave the house for a whole day? I was overworked and in the hospital. Didn't you hear? Hospitalization is such an exaggeration. Young people these days. Anyone would fall ill if they couldn't sleep. Shut up. I wonder if it's because you grew up with a single parent that you are such a scumbag. I like to see your parents' faces. Whoops, I forgot. They are gone already. My mother-in-law looked at me and laughed sardonically. She continues while I'm at loss of words. If you're a wife, you should get up at 3 a.m. and work like you always have. I won't allow you to fall ill. What? If you don't like it, there's no place for you here. Get the hell out of here. At this point, I had reached the end of my patience. She woke me up every morning at 3 a.m. to make me work, and to top it all off, she made fun of my late mother. I will never forgive you. I can't be a part of this family any longer. Holding back my voice from trembling, I tried my best to speak calmly. I understand. Then I will leave. What? I walked past my mother-in-law with her eyes widened and gathered up my belongings. I didn't listen to what my mother-in-law was saying and left. A month later, I walked out of the office after work to see Noah and his mother with their faces red. They were screaming about something, so I had no choice but to go into a nearby cafe to listen to what they had to say.
Lily, what the hell is this?
Noah held up a signed divorce paper. What do you mean? As you can see, I want a divorce.
Divorce? I thought you would come back after rethinking, but how can you say something so outrageous?
To Noah, who was spitting on me as he gets closer, I say, Your mother said to me, if you can get up at 3 a.m. to do the housework, then you have to leave. So that's what I did. Why don't you just do what we tell you? My mother-in-law intervened, but I ignored her. Noah, just get a divorce.
I will not agree to that.
What is that? Because you're in need of money, right? Noah stiffened at my words.
What? Money? What is she talking about, Noah?
By her reaction, my mother-in-law did not know what we were talking about. I told her to make everything clear. Oh, I see you didn't know that Noah's annual income is only 1/3 of mine.
Huh?
I continued to my astonished mother-in-law. With Noah's income, he would not be able to support you or even pay the mortgage on the house. That's why he refuses a divorce.
That can't be.
My mother-in-law looked at me and Noah alternately. Noah pleaded me with a very pale face.
Please, Lily, come back.
Do you remember what you said when I collapsed? You never worried about me, and you always took your mother's side. How can I be married to someone like that?
Well, that's...
I will never forgive your mother for what she did to me, nor forgive you for just watching that silently. Not to mention the division of property, but I'm going to demand compensation for my mental anguish, so be prepared.
Huh? How am I supposed to pay for that?
Then I will do whatever it takes, even go to court. From now on, please contact me through my lawyer. I held out my lawyer's business card to Noah. He stared at it, sweating like a pig. Then, my mother-in-law suddenly clung to my arm.
Wait a minute! How are we going to live? Lily, please help us!
I shook off her hands vigorously.
I don't care. You sowed the seeds, so do something about it yourself.
With that, I left the coffee shop, leaving the two of them pale-faced. Afterwards, Noah cried to me, telling me that he can't pay the alimony. We agreed to sell the house and to give me that money plus all of his savings. We finally got divorced. Noah and his mother ended up in a shabby apartment. My mother-in-law gave up on Noah and tried to get her ex-husband to help them, but she was kicked out. I was later told that Noah's mother did very little housework at home. Noah's father was fed up with her two-faced personality, that he was the one to suggest the divorce. After her ex-husband shooed her away, Noah's mother still lives with her son, who has no savings. The only thing that has changed is that she started working a part-time job, early in the morning at the factory. I hope she will take this opportunity to reflect on all the times she has mistreated me. I, on the other hand, have found a new house and I'm living a pretty good life. I'm happy to do my housework for only myself and sleep soundly every night. But that's not all. Recently, one of my coworkers asked me to be his girlfriend. He said he had been in love with me for a long time, but he had given up on it because I was married. Then he heard about my divorce and opened up about how he had always felt. He is rumored to be sincere and earnest, so I'm starting by going on a dinner date with him. I would like to strive for a good, positive life from now on. Thank you for watching.